Hey, what's going on out there, folks? Rooster here in Tennessee. This is a video doing for specifically for a customer. Hillbilly in Alabama bought this setup from me. He got this Gump Tune 29 on the left, along with this bilateral 4-power 400 amp. He bought them together. I gave him a combo deal on it, and he was saying, hey, you know, it might be a good idea to do a video on both of them together. So he had some friends that might be interested in getting some radio set up. So I'm going to show you what this setup does together. I think I've tested them together before, but I'll go into everything that's been done to the 29, and then we'll test it together with the amp over here. Of course, this is a Gump Tune 29. Forrest Gump in Alabama did all the work to it. A very good friend of mine. As far as the mods that have been done to it, we'll go from left to right. Just with the most simple, it has a white LED meter light in it. The meter has been tinted orange. Doesn't affect the way it moves. Audio, still moves just fine. Makes it stand out a little bit. I like it myself, but it has a variable carrier control on the RF gain, commonly referred to as dead key, carrier, dead power, whatever you want to call it. It will vary from basically 0 all the way down, all the way up to about 6 or 7 watts. For the sake of the video, we'll run it about 9 or 10, and that should put you at about 2 watts or so dead key, and that's where I'd recommend running at. Let's see here. Bright dimmer does work. The channel 9 switch does the VFO windup. Now, if you don't know what the VFO windup is, I did a whole YouTube video explaining what a VFO windup does. It's not a power increase or anything like that, but if you need to know what the VFO windup does, I can send you a link to that video. Transmit tune, obviously it's had, you know, commonly people call it peak and tune, whatever you want to call it, but it's been aligned, it's dead on frequency. It's had improved transmit tune on it, and it has had a improved receive and a widened out receive. So it's had all these mods done to it. Basically the package deal, when Gump does a radio, he does all that stuff to it. He does the same mod to every radio that comes through there. So it's doing about 35 to 38 peak, I believe. It does have a stock final in it, which is good because that is perfect for this amp. You don't want to put, you know, honestly, that's exactly what you want to put into this thing, is about 35 watts peak. This one may do just a little bit more, 38, something like that, and it all depends on your meter too. But I think on this bird it was doing about 35, 38. Heck, we can pop a slug in here. Check it real quick. I think straight into the meter it's doing like 40, 38, 40, and through the amp I think it's doing about 35. Hello, audio. So right around 35 watts. Again, that's going through the amp. Sometimes when you go through the amp, it loses just a little bit. For whatever reason, the input on the amp's a little different or something like that. But we're going back with a 500 in here, and that's what we'll test the amp with. Now, I've already went through all the specific stages on this amp in the video I did just for it. So if you need to know how the stages work, just refer back to that video. Basically, these last 2 switches operate as a high and low, and when both are out, it's on high. And we're just going to test it on high. We'll go ahead and turn it on. Running about 14.5 volts on the power supply, and we'll just check peak power. Let's see what we're dead keying here. About 100 watts. Audio, middle scale. Hello, radio, audio. About 450. Let's back that down just a little bit. You probably shouldn't. You probably wouldn't have to back that down. Honestly, that's a little over 25% carrier to forward output, and that's kind of where I try to keep stuff. So that would be, yeah. So we could probably come up. We could actually come up with it just a little bit, but for reference, just run it around here, man. Just run it between 9 and 10 o'clock, and you should be fine. Now, it may be a little bit different on your setup, but that should be the ballpark you need to get it in. Man, I think you'll have a killer setup here. I appreciate your business. Appreciate you buying both off of me, and yeah, if I feel like you got a good deal on them, and I feel like you got some good equipment here, it's going to last you a long time. I'm going to send this mic with it. I don't know if you want this mic or not, but it's been hooked to this radio. I've been using it to test this radio probably since this one's been on the bench here, and I'm just going to send it with it. Now I recommend, a Superstar 507. If you can get one, I've got about 100 of them coming. But I haven't got them in yet. So if you don't get a Superstar 507 soon, and I get them in, let me know, and I'll hook you up with one. But this one will work okay. It's going to sound pretty good on it. It's not going to sound bad. These mics sound pretty good. They're a little bit bassier than a Superstar 507, in my opinion. But Superstar 507 is going to be your best bet. Superstar DM 507 is the mic you want to run on this. And as far as your mic gain, I had it wide open there, I think. But run it, if you get a 507, run it around 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that. Unless you have you shouldn't pick up any noise in your vehicle with it ran like that. But that's it, man. Like I said, Mr. Hillbilly, I appreciate the business. Good to make an acquaintance with you. And, man, I hope this equipment does you well for a very long time. And gives you zero problems, my friend. All right, you guys have a good one. And if you ever see me do a video on radios or amps, know that I will give you a discount if you buy them together. If I price something, price them two different prices separately. If you buy them together, I'm gonna at least knock off shipping and probably knock off a little bit more. So I did that for Mr. Hillbilly here, and he didn't try to get a lower price or anything like that. He said, "Hey, what's a good combination deal you got?" And I shot it out to him, and he said he'd take it. So here we are, about to box this stuff up for him. All right, you guys have a good one. Catch you on the band. Enjoy the hobby. Questions, comments, complaints, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. See you, bye. Bye-bye.